Hello, hello, hello.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I threw you off right there,
I
didn't
know
I?
you
You were
did.
expecting the hey, hey, hey.
I was
decided
waiting. I
to
was like, wait.
switch it up.
I know, you can't do
I
that
thought
to
I'd keep you on your toes today.
You cannot do that to me.
Why can't I do that
not
to
after
you?
5 p.m. Central Standard Time.
It's a new year.
I know.
I'm switching things up.
There we go, switching it all up. Well, that sounds good.
Doesn't? I don't know.
Yes.
Should make sure. Yeah, everything sounds good.
Great.
Okay, cool.
So we are super excited to be back in 2024 to talk with you, to answer your questions. We really thought it would be fun to kind of start off the new year, just kind of hearing from you, seeing some things maybe you've done over the holidays, maybe some things that you ran into when you were quilting in December. We can answer those questions for you. And just really to kind of chat with you. We miss you.
We're going back to our good morning LEQ vibes. We got the chairs out. We're kicked out. She's got a drink. We're good to go.
I had my chocolate.
She did have her chocolate. She did have her chocolate.
So, no, we're super excited to have you. Thank you again for joining us. So, tell us some stuff, Corey.
You tell me some stuff. How was your holiday?
My holiday was good. How was yours?
I was good. I spent it with you.
I know.
Holiday was good. But how were y'all's holidays? Did you do any of your family traditions? Did you go anywhere? Did you stay at home and just quilt or sew?
Yeah.
Everything works. I mean, everything's fine.
So we're going to ask a lot of questions in this live just to kind of, because we want to hear from you, but we want you to also ask questions because that's what we're here for tonight, is to also answer your questions. But sometimes we just put some fillers out there to kind of help get your juices going, right?
Well, and it's things that we've already gotten so far this year.
Yeah.
We get emails and DMs and all sorts of stuff with different questions throughout the year. And we kind of jot them down to the side.
Yeah.
So when we have something like this, it just kind of sparks conversation at that point. But before we jump into that conversation, I didn't forget this part. Make sure you do subscribe to our channel. It's right down at that bottom right-hand corner. After you click on that subscribe button, make sure you click on the little bell that shows up so you can get notified for all things Linda's Electric Quilters on
ding, ding.
YouTube. I know, you were going to do ding, ding. But then you went, that's right, in the middle of my spiel. I was in a speech. It's because I messed you up earlier,
I know you
didn't
did.
I? Okay, it's payback. All right, no more of that.
So while we are waiting for questions and you're telling us what you've done for the holidays, how many quilts did you do for December? Like projects or quilts, like were you super busy? It seems to be from the quilters that come in here, and I know for us too, like December seems to be a really busy month to make those quilts because getting all those gifts out.
It's those last minute gifts.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of it is those last minute
So
ones.
how many did you make? Like how many did you knock out?
Yeah, Mom, how many did you make? How many did you knock out?
I feel like we did like 2. I said I feel like it.
You feel like you did too?
I feel like I processed it and you quilted them. Oh, no, I did more than that.
That's what I was about to say. You feel like you did too. I remember those.
Oh, that's right.
It was not just 2, madam.
I've already forgot about 2023.
I didn't.
No, those bedspreads. We
Those
knocked out a bunch of
bedspreads.
bedspreads.
Yeah, we did a bunch of bedspreads, and then we sent up, I don't know if y'all remember, Hoffman in 2019? Was it 19 or 18?
I don't remember. But
18 or 19. They did the Dream Bigger.
Yeah.
It was that huge 108 by 108 Dream Big Dahlia flower. Stunning. Well, we happened to have a few left in archive for our personal uses. They weren't like perfect prints, so we had to keep them behind. We couldn't sell them. But this one that we had was, one of the sides had something, but we just cut it off.
Yeah,
it was
we just
fine.
made it
It
smaller.
was fine. Just made it a little smaller. But we did this beautiful quilt and quilted it and sent it up to my grandma in Utah, and she called crying.
Yeah, she loved it.
I don't think I've ever heard her cry.
Yeah, no,
Crying.
right.
I was just like, oh, no problem.
Yeah.
What do you say, you know?
Yeah.
But she absolutely raved about it. And then when we got together for the holidays, she told everybody about it.
She did. She really loved it. Let's see if we have any questions.
Okay, let's see. First question was from right before we went live. It was from Jenny. Wondering if we were going to do another sampler quilt class.
Okay.
The process, you know, when I did sampler series, kind of that process through autopilot, or another step-by-step series that we did with the Fancy This book.
Okay, yeah. Corey, you have the answers.
I have the floor for that one. I do plan on doing another version of sampler series, just another set of different techniques. It is on the list. The list is long, but it is on the list.
Definitely.
When it comes to the step-by-step series like we did with Fancy This, that is higher up on the list because it's a little easier to get done.
Yeah.
And we'll be moving to a different book that we have to showcase that.
Yeah, a little bit. The techniques are just a little bit more complex, but still shows you how easy they are to do them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I guess they look complex, but they're not. I guess is the right word to say.
Fancy this focused more on background fills
Yeah.
and different border designs. Whereas the next book in the series, not going to tell you yet, focuses more on like a solid whole cloth piece
Gotcha.
to kind of work around that.
There you go. Next question.
Next question. A lot of hellos. Hello, everybody. We missed you too.
Yes, we did.
Tammy, no problem. She said thank you for helping her with the panographs. It's a question that she had this week.
Oh, perfect.
So you are so welcome. Let's see. We have a question. When you do double batting, what battings do you use?
You know, I think it really just depends on what look you want, right?
It has to do with look, but it also has to do with what is the end use case of the quilt.
Good question too.
When we have Stephanie from Hobbs on with us, she always asks, the first question she asks is, what is this quilt going to be used for?
That's right.
Then you can dive in further through that. So if you're looking at a double batting approach for a show quilt, for instance, we would be doing Linda's Choice on the back.
Yep.
The bottom layer, I guess not the back. You have to back the quilt. Don't put it just batting. The bottom layer would be Linda's Choice, which is 100% cotton with a scrim on it, and it is a denser cotton, so it's made to be heavy. It's going to hold the quilt nice and square.
Yep.
And then on top of that, we would put wool.
Yep.
Reason being for that is wool does not have a memory for creases. We've talked about this on this channel. And what that means is as that quilt is folded and open, hung, folded, it will just poof right back after hanging
poof,
up for a little
like
bit.
magic.
Yeah, poof like magic. That's what it does. You could also do that for a bedspread quilt, for a quilt that you're not really using that often, if it's just more like a show on a bed, you know, in the guest room or something like that. Double batting just for everyday quilts, 80-20.
Yeah,
All day
80-20
long.
on the bottom.
2 layers of 80-20.
You could do 2 layers, or you could also do, if you want a little bit of that poof, you could do 80-20 on the bottom and do like a poly or a wool on top.
Could.
Yeah.
Could.
Depending on what you want to use it for. Like if you just want that extra poof look.
Extra
Kinda
poof,
like
I would
extra
probably
fun.
do wool on top.
Yeah.
Just because of the shrinkage rate.
Oh, that's true. with
If
the
you have
cotton.
80-20 on the bottom, which is 80% cotton, and then you've got poly on top, poly
That's
does
right.
not shrink.
That's true.
So the shrinkage of it would look a little strange.
And that's why I keep you around.
Thank you.
Just keep me on target.
Thank you. And then another thing to think about is if you want that flat modern quilt look that has no heirloom look after it's washed or anything like that,
Oh, yeah.
you're going to want to make sure that the quilt top, before you piece it together, preferably, all the fabrics that go into it are already pre-washed, so they lose that shrinkage factor as much as they can. And then your backing is pre-washed. Make sure you have plenty of extra backing. That's another question. Jot that down.
Okay.
Write that down in your head.
Okay.
And then you want to use a polyester batting because poly does not shrink. It has a 0 shrinkage % rate.
Yeah,
so
so
if
once your fabric's already shrinked is what he's saying.
Right.
You don't want to put some batting in there that's going to shrink
and
after
80-20
that.
would shrink after that, and then
Yeah.
it takes apart your whole thought process. So then you would put poly into that, and then at that point, once the quilt is washed, if you decide to wash it, it would still maintain that nice flat modern look.
Could you do like where you would put the 80-20 and then not pre-wash the fabric though? And then you just do it all together?
Yeah, no, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, no. If you wanted it to have that heirloom wrinkled look.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's
Yeah.
where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The new modern quilts these days, when they're washed, they like a nice flat look.
Gotcha.
No wrinkles.
Gotcha.
And the way to achieve that is pre-washing your fabric and using polyester batting.
Gotcha.
That's your achievement there.
Okay. Any questions?
Well, jot back down to the one I told you.
Okay. Go ahead.
It was about pre-washing backings.
Yes.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
So we specialize in wide backs here, as many of you know. If you don't, hop on our website. I think we have over 500 right now in stock.
We get stuff
And there's
new
more
all the time. Yep.
When it comes to pre-washing your backings, you have to be very careful on that because it can have a larger shrinkage rate with all of that fabric just tossed into the washer, washed and dried,
Yep.
as opposed to it already being into the quilt, sewn together, quilted together, and then off into the washer to be washed. A 108 after a pre-wash before you quilt it, after washing, could shrink down.
Yeah.
And it's going to.
Well,
I'm
it's
not going to
gonna
lie to you.
shrink
It's
down.
going to shrink down.
Yeah.
More than you would expect and more than you will notice if it wasn't already quilted first.
Exactly.
Just because it has all those points to hold it together. So if you do plan on pre-washing your backings, that's completely up to you, personal preference. make sure you have plenty of backing.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely want to make sure you have enough. Just get that extra half a yard.
Half
Right?
a yard or yard.
Yard, or just depending on, because it will shrink, like you said, if it's
Yeah.
not already stitched.
Yeah.
And, you know, we do these queen size quilts, or even like when I did the comforter that we did. It didn't look like it shrunk at all, but I know it did because it's cotton fabric, right?
Oh, no question. But it's just not as much when it's already stitched down in all
together.
those places.
Okay.
So that's something to think. I know I kind of squirreled off there. But
That's okay.
that's the point
That's
of tonight.
What it is.
That's
okay,
what
what are
we're
some
doing.
other questions?
Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. I just keep talking.
That's why I need the screen.
Okay, here.
Thank you.
I'll just talk.
Just talk.
I'm good at that.
Well, where are we
You
at?
were right here on Judy's.
Okay, Judy, no question, but thanks for the answer on the needle size. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, sure. Next.
She said, thanks for no, so we gave her some information on needle size, and so her threads are not shredded anymore.
Oh.
So you're very welcome, Judy.
Yes,
very
yes,
welcome.
you're welcome. I was like, I didn't remember that being in there.
Cheryl did 23-yard quilts for all of her children. That's a lot, 20 quilts, 3 yards.
20.
So like 108 type of quilt?
Oh, I thought you meant
Awesome.
like 23 one-yard quilts. I was about to say, oof,
A lot too.
dang. She had an assembly line going on the machine.
So I had a question. I heard you guys are going to go to hopefully 2 to 3 times a week in the future. Is this true? The goal in the future is, yes, is to try to go live a little bit more, have a little bit more educational videos.
I think we have a leak in our office.
I
That has
know.
not been
We
publicized.
have not publicized that. But the goal is, yes, to definitely try to get more educational content out to you to help you with all of your goals, you know, and branch out into a few more different ideas and projects, which was one of the questions kind of towards the end. So, I mean, we could throw it in there and get some feedback. What are some videos that you would like to see in general? Think of the whole quilting, sewing, crafting kind of.
Yeah, don't limit it just to a long arm machine.
Yeah, like
Go
everything in that big
everywhere.
crafting world. And you're right. What are some videos that you would like to see? Because we are really open to bringing in new content to you, whether it's short arm, whether it's sewing machine, whether it's, I might even learn how to knit, whether it's just stuff like that. We'll bring my mom on.
Better.
Exactly. But I mean, just definitely put that in the feed, because your ideas really do help us choose what you guys want to see. And we also want to make sure we're helping you as well.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so cool. It says, Amy says, I still have 3 or 4 of these big tree panels to quilt. Okay, Amy, you're going to have to show us those when you're done with them.
I still have one to do.
I know you do
Or 2.
too.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff completed, 6, 7, yeah, a lot. Can you recommend a warm batting that's not heavy from Jenny? She's asking that.
Okay.
These are good questions.
Yeah, these are
Keep
really
them coming.
good. So a really good warm batting that is not heavy is actually polyester. And I know it's not something that you would really think about, but polyester normally, I'm sure you do think about it, but normally think about. Polyester is a type of batting that's going to retain heat. It does not breathe at all.
Yeah.
It is also lightweight and floofy. Okay.
Floofy?
Floofy. Wool is also warm, but it is a breathable fiber because it is a natural fiber.
Correct.
So even though it is warm, it's going to breathe, and it might keep you cooler during the summer and warmer during the winter. But if you're wanting something that's just going to be warm, it's polyester batting.
Yeah, so the comforters that we made last month, that we put all polyester in them, and we're using them now in the beds, and they are nice and warm. They'll be perfect
They're
for
toasty.
this freeze
Oh
coming
yeah,
up.
the freeze coming on Monday. It's going to be
But,
like in
you
the
know,
single digits
These is
here.
really good questions on batting. Let's grab those sample packs real quick. We won't break them open, but we do have sample packs on our website. We have a lot of people that are just not quite sure what kind of batting they want to use or test or feel. And so we do have like a polyester sample pack that has 5 different sizes in there for you. And I mean, they're very, or the different lofts, very cost effective just for you to try them out. And then we have the sample pack that has like the Linda's Choice, the 80/20, the wool, the cotton wool, like all the Hobbs line, the heirloom line, and the Tuscany line in here. Oh, you're showing the loft?
Well, I was just going to show the kind of the number thing. So all of the battings in the sample pack are, I had to think, are numbered, and there is a white paper, a PDF, in there with the That's what things are called.
Table of contents.
Table, sure. So that coincides with that number, but like you actually get a good feel for what the loft really is after it is fully lofted out, which is another good question about batting.
Yeah, so we have these are all lofted and nice and ready for you to see exactly what it'll look like after it's been lofted. So anyway, the sample packs are on our website. We'll put the link in description in the comments at the end. But this is a great way to try to feel, touch, even do quick stitching, all the different battings out there without having to go buy rolls or packages of all of it to try it out.
Yeah, especially if you quilt for customers. These are little squares that you could quilt, have a big piece of 108 backing on and throw them all on and put some top fabric and quilt a design, preferably the same design, on each one. And that really gets you the idea, or your customer the idea of what their quilt is going to potentially end up looking like loft-wise.
Exactly. That's a great idea.
But when it comes to lofting, it's another good question to talk about. These batting rolls, and any batting rolls for that matter, are compressed into a bag to make it easier to get it to you, more cost-effective wise to get it to you. So what happens with that is when that batting is put into that bag, it is pressed down.
It's like...
Yeah, really tight.
Yep.
Especially for those polyester ounce ones.
Yeah.
It's pressed down into that bag to fit. So when you receive the batting, it is extremely important that you open it up pretty promptly.
And let it air.
And let it air up for a week or two, depending on the product, so you can get its full potential. Because if you open up, I'm gonna be honest with you. One of these polyesters right out of the bag, it's got creases in it, it's tight. It is not what the loft is that you see in the sample pack.
Exactly.
You've got to let it breathe,
so
it can be like, oh.
Yeah, so
that's with all the batting.
All the batting. You just got to give it time to breathe and just take it out, put it on your roller, your storage thing when you know you're ready to use it. And definitely if you buy packages, same thing. You want to take that out, lay it over. When we opened up the poly down to put in the, I put poly down in mine.
Yes.
Put poly down in my comforter. We let it loft for...
It was a couple of days.
It was about 3 days, and it still could have lofted for about three more.
Oh, no question.
But, I mean, you just got to give it that time. And that's just, so you get the full potential of the loft. We always just like to bring that up because we get that question a lot.
And then another thing while she's searching through, because you've got essays here.
I know.
Another thing that you're thinking about with batting rolls is whenever you store them, I know it's not perfect when it comes to size and space requirements. Try your best to store them on their side and not straight up, especially 100% cotton. The reason being is 100% cotton is a very heavy batting in a good way. That's what it's made to be. But we've got gravity, and when it's sitting straight up, those fibers over time will compress down on one another, and your 96-inch wide batting can turn into a 90-inch wide batting.
Yeah.
You'd have to stretch it out, but no one wants to do that. That's not fun.
Yeah.
So it's just the idea. Try your best.
Especially on the cottons.
Especially on the cottons.
Yeah,
try your best to store them laying flat.
All right, so it says, do you prefer 80-20 or 100% cotton batting?
Depends.
It just depends the use.
It depends on the use case.
It goes back to the question earlier. What are you using it for?
Right? 80-20 cotton poly I like for customer quilts, everyday quilts, charity quilts, different things like that.
Yep.
I love 80-20 cotton wool.
Yeah, that's
batting
nice.
for my own personal quilts.
That's a nice one.
Love it. It drapes, it breathes. That extra bit of wool just lets it poof.
Yeah.
Doesn't have as much of a memory for creases because of it. It's just...
Yeah, because it's very cozy.
Cuddly. Yeah.
So again, it's just use case. I mean, 80-20 is definitely a more cost-effective one. That's still a good batting, but more cost-effective. Yeah. I like the cotton because for some reason I like cotton. It just seems to cuddle more for me.
It has more of a drape.
Yeah. So I think that's just use case. These are good questions. Let's see.
Don't be skipping people.
I'm not. It says, I purchased batting on the roll and it comes folded on a cardboard. How do you suggest placing it on the batting roller and opening it to its full size? Do you unroll it, then re-roll it on the bar? So okay. So this is a good question, and we do get this a lot. So I have been doing this for so long that I actually was here when that's all you got was the really big polyester rolls that were 96 to 100 inches wide, and that was just how they came. Do you remember when you were little like that?
Back in the
that was
day.
A long time ago.
Yeah, no,
so that you could put them underneath the long arm and then just kind of feed them into it, which would be ideal, but unfortunately that can't be shipped that way.
You can. It's just going to be
real
an arm and a leg and more than the batting.
Yeah, exactly. So you're right. So it comes folded so that way it can be shipped. You would probably, we had to do it in a gym floor. We used the church gym floor when we would do it for all those years ago on the cotton batting. You can go to it, open one up. You got to remember, these are like 30 yards, so you've got to have a lot of space to open it up, to roll it back on that bar. And is it worth it for you to do that to be able to feed?
Yeah.
Most people don't do that. They just cut it up, open it up, and lay it out, depending on which what size they need for that quilt.
Right. What I did when I had my machine at home was I would store the batting on the bar.
On the bar, yeah.
And I would load my backing, folded, yes. Yeah. I would load my backing first. I would pull up some batting from the bar and lay it on the backing. I would lay my quilt top on top of that folded a couple of times, the longest lengthwise, and just pull the batting up to get to the end of that quilt top and then give myself a couple extra inches and then just cut right there. I got the right length, and then I can just open it up from there, and it's already up on the frame. Probably easier to have a visual of that, but that's just the idea.
It says pre-wash backing if fabric is pre-washed. I think she's asking, do you pre-wash the backing if it's already pre-washed?
You can, but you don't have to, because unless you're using a polyester batting, the shrinkage rate's going to be fine no matter what you do. So
gotcha.
I've done it both ways. I personally don't like to pre-wash my fabrics. That's just me, my opinion. I just like it the way that it is. I quilt it up, and then I like the wrinkled heirloom look. Yeah. But that's just me. Yeah, everyone has their own thing.
Something different.
Yeah.
We had a question about here. She says she had an 80 models gamble. Can it be computerized? We would just suggest that you to contact the dealer, the manufacturer, and on that to see if you
would have to contact Gamble for that.
Yeah. I just don't want, I'm not skipping any questions. I
no,
just
you
want
can't,
to
you
answer
can't,
anything.
can't skip those questions.
Okay, we have another one. What can be used for batting in the place of flannel?
Oh, that's a good question.
I have customers who like to use flannel. Okay.
Yeah, that's a real good question.
Okay.
So we have people that like to use flannel just based on how thin it is.
That's true, yeah.
Not really a positive to it, just the thin case of it. And the best one to use for that would be the Thermore.
Good question.
So Thermore is number 10 in your sampler pack. Everyone turn to number 10, please.
We do have this camera over here.
Oh, we do. I'm walking around.
I know, you're dropping it. We even
I don't know how to use this thing.
Oh, let me get the stuff out of the way, the surprises. Oops.
Really, Mom?
I'm sorry.
All right, so everyone turn to number 10 in your sampler pack. But Thermore is a very, 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 very thin batting. You can even tell right there that way. And so a lot of people will use Thermore in place of flannel, or you'll use Thermore for t-shirt quilts because it has a little bit of a grit to it.
Yeah.
And since t-shirts are already so heavy as it is, you don't want to add in a ton of extra weight with cotton or even cotton poly batting.
Yeah.
So Thermore is really, really good for that. And it comes in packages, 90 by 108. That's the only way that it's sold.
Exactly. Another great question is, can you use backing fabric for piecing? And I can say, yes, you can.
1,000%.
That's what we use for all of our piecing. Probably because it was here for us, but I mean, yeah, no, it's definitely.
If it wasn't, it's more cost effective.
Well, it's more cost effective. Yeah. You can buy a yard of backing and think of that as 36 by 108. How much fabric you have to piece with that?
Oh yeah, no question.
Compared to 36 by 44.
And 9 times out of 10, it's relatively the same cost per yard.
Yeah. Well, it's cheaper.
Well, I'm saying it's like 1 yard could be $18.
Oh, that's
where
what you're
1 yard of ours is $18, but you're getting 2.5 yards of regular. You know,
that's
just how you look at it. It's math.
Yeah, so really good questions. Let's see. So many button options on a Nova.
Can you what?
Virginia says there's so many button options on an Nova. Would love to have a discussion on all the buttons and what they're used for. The manual doesn't really explain that. That would be a good video to do. Just all the different button options and things.
Where at? In the software or on the machine? That's
options.
a good question.
Virginia, are you talking about the software or in the machine? So while she's answering that, what do you do with the scraps from your piecing and quilting? These are good. This is a good question. So
I have a great idea.
Yeah. So go ahead. You in the description, answer Lisa's question. What you guys do, because I would love to hear what you do with your scraps. And now, Corey, what do you do with yours? What?
You were like, go ahead, but.
Well, I have this idea that I want to do.
So what I like to do with all my scraps I know this sounds bad, but my mom likes to make scrappy quilts, so I send them to her. She likes to do those. But I thought of it in the point of, with all my scrap threads, when I'm quilting or even when I'm sewing, you know, you always have those little tails of threads that you cut off. I keep them to the side, and at the end of the year, they all go into a clear glass ornament.
Yeah.
And they go on my tree, and those are my 2023 threads that I've used that year.
Yeah.
And it looks really, it's like an abstract, looks like a glass blown thing, but it's really cool how all your threads you just throw them in there, you can get the glass, you know, the ornament, the plastic
That's a good
ornaments.
idea, just to kind of remind you.
But you can do it with fabric pieces too.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Just kind of all the selvages that you used that year or something.
You know what? I could take like some of the scraps you've given me and glue them on ornaments. And
You could.
That's a cute idea.
You should glue them on a balloon and then pop the balloon on the inside, and then it makes like that kind of Fabergé thing. Yeah. Remember that year that Grandma sent us those?
Yeah, I know. I didn't think about that.
With thread, but do it with like Mod Podge and
There
with
we
fabric,
go.
and then
Good
pop
idea.
the balloon.
Susan says she did 40 charity quilts this year. That's a lot of charity quilts.
That's awesome.
Kudos to you. Awesome, awesome. Let's see. Keep the questions coming. I'm trying to keep up.
Oh, she wanted the iPad.
Oh, let's see. Okay, how do you?
I'm gonna look at something.
It says, how do you put a bound quilt back into the frame if you discover some missing stitches? This is a good thing that are quilted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either snap it back on, but probably if you're using red snappers, a bound quilt's probably already too thick, so don't do that. I would just pin it back onto the frame the same way you pinned on the backing and just roll it to the section that you need. I've done that many of times. Because you get to the point where you hang it up, and because when you're over the top of the quilt and you're doing, say, a custom Judy Niemeyer, for instance, there's a lot of spots on there that you just forget sometimes. And so you hang it up over your light bar or up on your design wall, or have someone hold it up for you, and you look and you go, oh, snap. I missed that whole section.
Yeah.
And so that, you just pin it back on like you did your backing originally, and just roll it back and forth to get it where you need it.
Yep. That's all you got to do. I've seen you do that. I've seen Linda do that a lot of times too when she was doing show quilts.
Especially when you're doing custom quilts, yeah.
It says, I do like books with designs and seeing you stitch it out on the project. This way I can see the way it stitches out. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Says, fairly new long armor, and I've never quilted on minky for my back. Can you give me some tips on quilting minky?
For sure. With minky, you do have selvage for your backing, like you do with any fabrics. So you want to make sure that your selvages are running on the sides of the frame. You don't want to pin or snap to the selvage. That's going to cause overstretch, because you can just stretch that for days when you're rolling. But if the selvages are on the side, it helps control that stretch. You'll also want to use either a light ballpoint or medium ballpoint needle. So a titanium needle would work just fine. Reason being is if you use a chrome-plated sharp needle, when it cuts through the fabric to make the stitch, it's going to slice a little bit of that minky. And if you've ever cut minky before, cuddle dust goes everywhere. That's what they say in their little brochure. It's so cute. Cuddle dust. It goes everywhere. So what I mean by that is when that needle goes into that little hole, makes the stitch and comes back up, and it cuts a little bit of that minky's coming back up with it. Yeah. That's just the natural part of it. There's really nothing to do with it. But if you use a ballpoint needle that separates those fibers instead of shredding through them, it's just gonna boop and just leave it where it is. So selvages on the side, medium or light ballpoint needle.
Okay, so we have another question that says, if you're buying a 25-yard roll of batting, do they have to cut it and set it aside before loading on the frame?
Oh,
I'm thinking of it storage. Yeah.
So if are you talking about cutting it for a quilt before you load it on the frame?
I would think that's what.
Before you load the roll on the
It
frame,
could be
or before you load the quilt?
If it's let's answer both. So if it's loading the batting underneath the table, no, you don't have to pre-cut it. You just pull out what you need and cut it. A lot of times you can take the batting, hang it over a bar, like on a machine, and cut it that way, so you're not crawling on the floor trying to cut batting.
That's the way I always do it.
Yeah, so that way you can use it for storage, and then you just pull it up and cut what you need when you need it. I'm thinking that's probably what the question was.
That's what I would do.
All right, while we're waiting on more questions, keep the questions coming, but while we're waiting on some more questions, we are going to talk about the Texas Shop Hop. We are super excited to be in the Texas Shop Hop.
The All Texas
Shop Hop. So we've never done a shop hop here. We just never have. Corey always asked us to, and we just like, oh, we'll do one day. We'll do one day. And this came up, and we're like, we're going to do this. So we're super excited about it. We want to show you the magazine because they are going on sale tomorrow.
Yeah, they're available to ship or pick
up
tomorrow.
For pick up, yeah. So they've been on pre-order on our website, but now they're actually available to pick up. And if you did pre-order the magazine,
so a bunch of y'all will get your tracking numbers first thing in the morning.
Yeah, it'll ship out. It's shipping out tomorrow for you, so you'll get that. But Corey, why don't you jump over to here and show them?
Sure. So this is the wonderful All Texas Shop Hop magazine. It's going to have 6 patterns included, but the Texas Shop Hop is going to encompass over 105 different shops. It's crazy to say that. That's that many quilt shops in Texas. 105 different shops. But the magazine is available on our website, longarmsupplies.net. Go and order it. You want one of these. Because this magazine is the key to your prizes. The stores that you visit, when you visit the shops, they put a little sticker on your little passport in here, and then you get to, there's rules, and you get to submit that in later. There's rules in there. We're not going to read the rules right now. What were you going to say?
I was going to show a few more things.
Well, I know. I was moving to it.
Well, that was
Hold on, madam.
I'm excited. I love this magazine. It's cool.
So this one page, for instance, we can show you this one. This is the Northeast region. This is the region that we are in. But it's really cool to show you how it kind of takes all the guesswork out of where the shops are, what their hours are, what their websites are.
Yeah.
All the information is right there, and it's all broken apart by region.
Yeah, so I love that. I love how it's a road map.
It is a road map.
So it shows you all the regions, all the shops in the regions, what their hours are, websites. You can that way you can plan your whole trip.
Yeah. And when does the Texas Shop Hop start? We're getting them excited.
It starts in March.
March 1st.
March 1st through the end of April, so it is 2 months.
And what's really cool, every shop that you visit that's in here, as long as they're a participating shop, you get a free gift.
Yep.
So at each shop. We'll show that real quick.
There's ours.
So this is ours. There's a little quilt block that comes in every store, and it's no purchase necessary. You can just go in and say, I'd like to get the block.
Exactly.
But definitely you want to make sure you have your magazine. Make sure you purchase that magazine because you want to get the stamp if you're going there anyway.
Exactly.
But there's our little, it's a design choice block. He's so cute, just a little baby.
And that's, again, what these little green things are for. Just because I love it. I think it is so cool what they did. So information, you put your name on there. It's important to have your name on there in case it gets dropped.
And a phone number.
Name and phone number in case you accidentally drop it or leave it at a store. Then you get a stamp. There's no purchase for the stamp either. No purchase necessary. You just go in. Obviously, we would love for you to purchase when you come to the stores, but you don't have to. And you
need some batting, some wide back, some thread. I mean, you're here.
So actually, there's ours right there.
Yep.
You can we'll give you a stamp when you come in, and then you're going to get this cute little block, and that's just a thank you gift for coming in.
Yeah, and so just one little thing that you'll see in here. There's all sorts of different things about different retreat centers. There are, again, 6 patterns that are included. We can't show you the patterns, but 6 patterns that are included. But here is our little ad. We're here on page 42.
Yeah, we're just super excited because we just have never done this before, so it's just super fun.
Yeah.
All righty, come back over here. Let's see if we have any more questions.
I'm coming.
So
yes, magazines.
If you got on here late and you just know what we were showing you, it's the All Texas Shop Hop. Yep. Magazine, and it is available on our website right now to order, and we'll ship it to you. And the Shop Hop is March and April, and we have lots of fun events going to be happening during that time that we'll be announcing a little bit closer, but in-store events. So just kind of keep an eye out for that in the newsletter.
You definitely want to be in store for these events. It's going to be good stuff.
There'll be some fun stuff.
Yep. Link for the magazine is in the description below already.
Oh, good. Good for you.
So I did that before we got started. Because I
pro.
knew how excited she was at this. So.
I was.
That'll take you right to the website so you can order that because you're going to want one. Even if you're not in Texas, the magazine's just cool.
Yeah.
You want the patterns. You want the information. You can also go to the different stores' websites. You don't get the free gift, but at least you can, check out what other stores are at.
Yeah, like I said, when we got this, and Corey made this little thing to hand out for people that come in.
Make those.
105 stores, 100 prizes, and a free gift at every store. So it's to plan it with your friends, go on a road trip. Can I have off for a month to go on a road trip?
No. The Texas Shop Hop made these. I did not. I don't
want.
Oh,
sorry.
I don't want to take credit from. I cut them. I can do that. I just don't want to take design credit from somebody.
You're right. Sorry.
But these are really little cute things that
I was just thinking you printed them. Is
I
what
printed
I
them.
And you cut them.
I did that. Go
with
me.
The little razor.
I did the little. All right. What else you got?
All right. So it says, would love to see how to load some quilts. I was taught to base the entire quilt. It's from bottom edge to allow for shrinkage. You know, it kind of still is that way. I mean, we have some loading videos on our YouTube. You can check them out. But we do load the backing, the top, and then the batting, and then the top, and we still do based across the top and then based down the sides.
As you go.
As you go. So it's kind of, I think that's what she was saying, same thing.
Yeah, there's a couple of different loading methods from everybody. We have we have ones that we like, so that might be something we could put in, just loading options.
Yeah.
There's like Corey's way, there's Diana's way, there's a way. There's a bunch of different ways to do it.
There really is.
But yeah, that'd be a cool.
The idea is just to get on there.
Are we writing these down?
We can go back and look at these.
That's right. That's right. We
technology.
That's right. We can go back and do
Alrighty, let's see. So,
another cool thing that's happening here at Linda's Electrical is we've got a lot of stuff going on here.
oh my gosh, 2024 is going to be
It's going to be
insane.
amazing, y'all. You have no idea. We're super excited. We have new team members joining on in the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
So we'll hopefully be able to introduce them. If they are not camera shy, they're more than welcome to come onto a video. But we're super excited they'll be joining with us and joining the LEQ family.
Yeah, which brings us all the way back to that first question, the leak at the beginning about giving us time to be able to do more videos for you. Gets us out of the storeroom and the packing room on the everyday basis. We'll still be back there working diligently, but you know, to be able
perfectionists.
Yeah, exactly. But to come out and be able to film more and be live with you more as well.
Super fun stuff.
So yeah, we're super excited about that.
So, oh yeah, that was there.
It was.
Someone already did that. You so smart. What about that one?
So we're going to leave the live with some questions for you that I want you to kind of put in there, okay? I want to know your must-have quilting notion. Like, what is like your must-have in your quilting room? Share with your friends. Share with us. Like, what do you like have to have in that quilting room? And without that, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to have to buy another one because I lost it. Because it's a must-have. And then also, what is your must-have in the sewing area? Because sewing and quilting is different. Obviously, you guys know that. So what's your must-have sewing item and what's your must-have quilting item? Because I'm just so curious to know what people like, what they love. Tell me what you love the most.
Must-have
You
is
love that.
my little spray mist bottle over there. It's just water.
I know.
But if you ever saw the video on our channel, if not, go back and look at it. The that like what's the unruly quilt top video? The unruly quilt top video. Mist ink.
Yeah.
This little, I have a little divot on my Nova frame. It just sits, and that's where he stays. And I go back, get him, go back and get him. Someone even refills it for me. I love it. This is my must-have like sewing quilting thing, but my must-have quilting thing is over here. I forgot to grab it.
Oh yes, those are so nice to have.
We've been talking about batting for the majority of this evening. Linda's batting scissors, the it item of the decade. The century.
Those are really nice to have. For
I love these. Those are my two.
So those are Corey's. So you tell us what yours are, whatever it is. We would just love to hear what you have that you love the most, right?
Yes.
And then one more thing is while you're doing that, tell us your favorite sewing thread, right? Like that what you would sew with on your.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
okay.
Sewing, embroidery type of threads.
Yes.
Tell us your favorite threads. We just might eventually start carrying that stuff for you at really good prices. So want to get your input. You know, you guys are our followers, you are customers, we love you, and we want to be able to supply the things that you want and need at the best prices. So tell us those things that you really like.
We definitely want to fulfill our tagline for all of your quilting supply needs.
Exactly. Another goal for 2024.
Another goal for 2024.
All righty, let's see if we have another question, then we're going to close it out. Joanne, okay. I'll let you read it.
Borders. Do you quilt the top/bottom borders, then remove the quilt from the frame, rotate it, and do the borders? Or quilt the center/roll back up and go down to one side and then back the other side? Got it. Okay. So what I personally do for borders is I like to turn the quilt for my borders. It's just easier for my head and for my mouth to understand. So I will do that top border. I'll quilt what's on the inside of the quilt, making sure to baste in the border itself. Especially if you've got, a 5-6 inch border, you don't want to leave that just open. Basting on the side is really nice, but also kind of just doing like a weird zigzag baste down the inner portion of that border that's not being quilted right now.
Oh yeah.
Quilt the inside of the quilt, roll, do the bottom, take off the quilt, turn it, put it back on, and then you can pop that basting out and do the rest of it. The reason basting down that quilt while it feels weird standing up. I like my chair. The reason you're doing that
use your hands
basting,
more,
I like
like-
to use my hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason you're doing that basting is going to help keep that quilt top secure, and it's not going to wrinkle up things as it's rolling. It's not going to kind of scrunch up the batting, where you're going to have to take out the basting and then pull it out, and also just do a weird zigzag base, a big base. Doesn't have to be small.
Just like that.
And do the sound effects too while you're doing it. It'll work better, trust me.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so we have really enjoyed visiting with you tonight and being live with you and answering your questions. If you weren't able to catch us live, definitely still put the questions in after the fact. We love to go back and answer those questions for you. You can always call us if you have a question, shoot us an email. Our contact information is on our website. We are here to help you as well through your journey, just like you guys help us. And we love, we love when people come in and.
Can I show them one more thing while you're saying that?
Yes, you can show them one more thing.
All right, you finish your spiel. I'll be
Anyway,
back.
he has one fun thing to show you. But yeah, so we love when people come in and tell us their stories and show us their tops. I mean, we have a table in front of us that you don't see. People come in and bring up their quilt tops that they've been working on or were given, and then we help plan it with them and give them back or choose backings for them, choose their batting, their threads, designs. It's just super fun. So if you're ever in our area, definitely plan to come in and do that. And if you're coming through this area and you're in Texas or Oklahoma and planning on doing the Texas Shop Hop, because we're really close to the Oklahoma border, feel free to bring in a top and we'll help you match it to a backing and thread and give you tips and ideas along the way. You ready?
Well, you want to show the panel first?
Yes.
Okay. So we got a bunch of new panels in, and there's more and more coming all the time. There you go. This one's called Glowosaurus. It's so stinking cute. I love dinosaurs, Jurassic Park, everything. And so that one's called Glowosaurus. And the reason it's called Glowosaurus is because it actually glows in the dark. So I'm going to go to a different room.
Alrighty, I'm putting you on there. I don't see it glowing in the dark.
It is.
I know it does, but it's not looking like it on the camera.
Bring me that other one.
Okay.
Bring me the one that was on top in the light.
It might need to be charged.
Yeah, this one was being
was like,
charged. I
"It's
took
dark."
the opposite one.
He's
Go
taking,
to sleep.
he's taking you into a tunnel.
I am. Oh, this one's better. Yeah,
that
you
one
can see
better?
it now.
Okay, so I'll wait till
Okay.
he has it opened
There we
up
go.
before we move
So it
over.
actually glows in the dark, y'all. Oh, wait. There she goes. Okay, now she's got it. So it actually glows in the dark. I've got it closer to the camera so you can actually see it because it is really dark in here. But all the different dinosaurs and everything, they actually glow. It's so cool. Okay, I'm back.
You're so funny. So you just took a trip to the bathroom.
I did. You took a trip to the bathroom, everybody. Welcome to the LEQ bathroom. It's nice and clean.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost like Buc-ee's.
Exactly. No, that's cool. You know, it was a little bit hard to see on the screen, but imagine it in your house or with your grandkids or kids, and it really does glow in the dark. It's really cool.
Yeah, there's a better picture on our website. We got it not in the bathroom, actually glowing, and it's really cool. I just thought it was cool. I wanted to show that.
No, it's super cool. All right, let's see if there's any other questions, and we'll get out of here.
I think we've got a bunch of must-haves.
Oh, perfect.
So
Keep putting your must-haves on there. Love it.
even after the live is over, please
do,
still
yes.
drop them in because we can still look at it. Yeah, it's just a bunch of must-haves now, so I think we're good.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's call it a night.
Do we want to call it a night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Di, do we have something else that I'm
I
not?
don't know. Did you hit everything that you
I
needed
think
to
I
talk
did.
about?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, go team.
All righty.
Alrighty. Thank you all so much for joining us on our Q&A hour. We hope you found this just as informative as we thought it was hopefully going to be.
Yeah, and let us know if you like us doing Q&As and sitting here talking randomly, but also answering your questions. Sometimes we ramble a little bit, but it's because we're trying to make sure we give you all the information you're asking for. So let us know if you like these, and we'll try to throw one in every quarter or something.
Every week. Got it.
Oh, no. Maybe not every week.
Not
but
every week.
Well,
but-
definitely, we want to be, we love being able to answer the questions live. So tell us if you enjoy that, if you find this informational, important, good, all that good stuff.
Informational, important. You're tired.
I am tired. Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you all so much for joining us. Don't forget, hop over to our website, longarmsupplies.net. Link is down below to grab your All Texas Shop Hop magazine. You're going to want that before March 1st starts.
I know, and start planning.
Yep.
Awesome.
Alrighty, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Do, do, do.